Uh, I'm Sean Bragdon. I'm the managing partner here at BGA Insurance. I want to thank everyone for attending this webinar. Today we have John Boothman of iLife Technologies, and I think you'll be impressed with the platform that iLife has put together. If you don't have a website, or if you'd like to improve your website for a very reasonable price, you can add the platform that iLife brings to the table. They are able to help you get leads and, in essence, sell more insurance. And I think, take some notes, and hopefully this is something that you can use in your business. So, John, take it away.
Great. Thanks so much, Sean. And thanks for the partnership to BGA Insurance overall. Appreciate that. Like Sean just said, we're going to share an opportunity for online presence, and that starts with a website, for example. So we're going to talk a little bit about online presence and marketing and websites. iLife has just recently forged a new partnership with Wix, and we'll get into that.
I do want to interrupt one thing, John. If anyone has any questions, just look to the bottom of your Zoom and type in the chat section, and we will get to your questions at the end. We'll also open it up for questions at the end.
Yep, super. And don't be shy on the questions. Look for any interactivity and any way I can help position this for you. So yes, chat during the webinar, and then we'll talk afterwards with questions. A little bit about myself, so you know who you're speaking with here. John Boothman, very recently with iLife. And I say recently, it's kind of funny because I've been here just a month short of a year, but that makes me senior. iLife has been live in the field for just over a year. It's new technology. It was about 2 years, or just a little bit over 2 years in the build out. I've been here almost since the beginning. I spent the last year at iLife here, and previous to this with another tech firm, and that was building out a single entry illustration platform. And that was my first foray into the tech side, and that was maybe 4 years ago now. But before that, doing exactly what you all are doing, and that's life sales. So the previous 20 years in the field, various companies, whether it was AXA, MetLife, brokerage, selling life insurance. I know exactly how important it is, and I know exactly how hard it is to sell. So here to understand what you're up against and what you're trying to accomplish, and with the iLife technology, hopefully make it a little bit easier. So the topic today is, like we said, digital and online presence, and that's websites. So the opening question is, what are you doing now? Do you have a website now? How robust is it? What are you doing for outreach? Again, digital and online presence, outreach. Are you doing newsletters and maybe sending out blast newsletters? Maybe you're doing blogs, for example. Are you advertising? That's a digital and online avenue. Are you doing Facebook ads? Are you doing Google ads? All of that, or none of that. And then your website. How robust is your website? And what is your website doing for you? Is it static? Does it have built-in widgets or functionality to help you in different parts of your business? And also, does your website have outreach? Is it just there, looking for someone to find it? Or is there some functionality such that you can couple your website with, like we mentioned, newsletters, emails out to orphans, blogs that might be on your site, might be on some external site you're doing, industry advertising? How do you prospect now, and how might you want to turn that into a digital and online outreach? That's really what it's all about. That's what iLife platform is going to help you do. And also, I think you all know, as I say, that's where the puck is going. Online presence is what it's all about. Interestingly, our industry, insurance, is about a decade, or we could even say 2 decades behind. Our consumers are buying almost everything online. They're shopping online, they're browsing online. Of course, insurance has been a little bit behind the 8 ball. There's a little bit of functionality online, but not much. So that, again, is what iLife will bring to you, the opportunity to have an online presence, build out your marketing, and build out your website. So the question we pose to you is, what is your website doing for you now? How robust is it? Or maybe what would you like it to do? So just to take a look at that and talk about that topic a little bit, what's in the marketplace now? So what does it look like? Perhaps some of you are super sophisticated and you know exactly what's going on with websites and you're doing Google ads or something, and then maybe on average you're not. Most agents are. So what's in the market now? So here's three examples of really what it looks like. And the first one is static websites. That's what most of you probably have. That is what's super common. It's a website. It might have about you. It might have something about life insurance products. It might have some planning ideas. It might have some sales ideas. In fact, it may have a widget in it. But for the most part, it's static. And or if you're with a carrier, for example, or you're a captive agent, then maybe it's just a page off a corporate site. But for the most part, it's just there. It doesn't have outreach. It's just waiting for someone to find it. And when your consumer or prospect finds it, there's really nothing for them to do there. So that's 90% of the websites. And then the second, on the opposite extreme, are corporate websites. And you know all the names. I don't know if it's important to get into names, but a lot of the major carriers either have a website that's branded with their name or some other name like MassMutual has Haven Life. And those websites are very robust. It could be a carrier. It could be a large IMO. They've got some functionality. They have a lot of outreach. They're spending huge dollars out to bring consumers in. But for the most part, when they get into those websites, it's B2C. It's those businesses, those carriers selling direct to your consumers. And as you know, it's primarily 99% term. Of course, there's final expense built into there, which is actually a very large market. But for the most part, it's term or final expense. For the most part, it's B2C, which means that entity, that enterprise selling directly to your consumers. And to take a step further, as you've mostly heard, the problem is they're going around you, the agent or the agency. And in fact, those are the entities that said a couple of years ago that agents might in fact be extinct because they thought their technology was going to supersede your ability to market. So a couple things have happened. One is those large entities haven't worked out so well. The carriers or big enterprises have poured millions and millions of dollars into those sites and marketing them. And for the most part, they're failures. Because really the business needs to be attached to an agent. And then down to the third example here, agency websites. So perhaps that's a little bit more robust. That's a website for a larger agency. Maybe it's 2 or 122 agents. Something fairly robust, really nice content, planning ideas. If you're a registered rep, then perhaps investment ideas, perhaps a term quote engine, maybe a needs analysis, maybe a couple of widgets. So there is some robustness to those websites, but is there outreach? For the most part, no. The website is waiting for someone to be directed there or for a consumer or a prospect to find it. There is no marketing outreach. And then there's very limited functionality when the prospect gets to that website. In other words, you ask the question, what does a consumer do when they get there? And so to give you an example of what do they do other places, if they go to cars.com or Expedia, there's a lot to do. They can browse, they can look at cars by price point, by zip code, by color, by make. There's a lot to do. It's a sandbox. Same with Expedia or various travel sites. There's a lot to do there. The consumer goes in, they can shop the market, they can look at different types of products, and then ultimately they can buy a product there. So that's outside our industry. What's going on inside our industry that compares to that? And that's where iLife comes in. So what iLife has built is a website that's end-to-end, and it's for the benefit of agents. And when I say for the benefit of agents, this is kind of funny because I meant to say this right up front, and I always forget. What's really important about iLife and BGA's partnership with iLife is that we're not a GA or an IMO, we're not a carrier. iLife is software only, it's a subscription software. We are not in your contracting or your hierarchy. We're outside of your business. We're a resource to your business, like Zoom, for example. So we're a neutral business that's here to provide a resource for you, but we're not in your contracting? That's a very common question. I always mean to hit that up front, really important. So we're not a GA or a BGA or something of that nature. What iLife has done is built out an end-to-end platform, starting with a website and starting with marketing, because building your marketing funnel is where your business starts. Whether it's the old days of going down to a sunset happy hour and shaking hands or walking door to door, now what do you do and how do you do it online? And once the consumer or the prospect's online, what can they do on your website? What you'll see is iLife has partnered with Wix at the front end to build out an incredibly beautiful and robust website. And then behind that website is all the functionality you need to market, track, and run your business. Let me go to the next slide here. What does that look like? So we're going to start with websites, and that's what Sean mentioned up front. What does your website look like, and what are the opportunities? And with the iLife Wix partnership, the opportunity is huge. When you sign up with iLife, you get into our Pro Plus account, you get at no extra charge the Wix partnership. And Wix, if you don't know, is one of the industry's premier or leading website builders. And that is built into our platform. So when you're with iLife, you have the ability to go straight into a Wix website. In fact, better than going straight to Wix, because we've built out through our partnership templates that are life insurance specific. And what that means is that it's super simple for you, very turnkey, no extra cost. And in a very short amount of time, you can build out a website that's as beautiful and robust as anything on the internet or with any other company. And then what's more important, which you're looking at now, although it's kind of busy, is the functionality behind the website. And the functionality is built-in CRM, that you track your business, built-in life insurance quotes, and permanent product browsing. I'm going to take a moment and take a look at all of that here next. But just to get in a little bit of what's behind the scenes is a fully functional CRM. So here we see just a snapshot of the CRM that's built in, tracking all your clients, the visitors to your websites, the prospects that have left all of their information, perhaps and selected a product, what stage that case or that prospect is in, all the information about them, and functionality that we'll talk about in a minute, tracking live chat. Because yes, when a prospect's in your website, you have the ability and they have the ability to live chat back and forth, functionality that you're not going to see anywhere else. So built-in CRM, beautiful website, and then just as a snapshot, we talk about the end-to-end functionality of iLife, starting at the beginning with prospect, outbound marketing. What are you doing with your emails, blogs? What kind of outreach are you doing? You can build that into your website. And you build that into the Wix website, the partnership that we've created here. And we're going to look at a couple of examples so you really see what you can build. And then behind that website, what could a consumer or a prospect do when they get there? Is it just static, or is there something for them to do? Is it a sandbox? And that's where the built-in term quoting and permanent product browsing comes in, which doesn't exist anywhere else. And you'll see that in a moment. The CRM that you just took a glimpse at, we're going to start there in a moment and walk through that. Online communication, so built into your platform is live chat with your prospects, and of course, phone functionality, email functionality, so that there's full client engagement all the way through the platform. And if your clients have a question, they can live chat you. And yes, that can be forwarded to your mobile device should you not be in your office. So if you stop for a moment and think about it, all this functionality is yours. This is not something that's going out to a third party, to a carrier, to a large enterprise. This is your website, your functionality. These are your clients. You own them, and you can communicate with them any way that is appropriate for that prospect or that case, all the way through to e-apps, direct links to e-apps, get you towards product placement. So let me just take a pause there. That's a lot in a short amount of time, Sean, and see if there's any chat questions or anything that you think that we should touch on before we go on. John, you're muted.
Yeah, I've got a question here. If an agent already has a CRM, will the iLife CRM integrate with theirs? And is there an export feature to do so?
Yes, so the answer is yes. That's a fantastic question. You'll see that in a moment. But there is a download and export functionality built right in. And then the integrate in will depend on what type of CRM you're working on. And interestingly, that's part of our roadmap right now to make our CRM fully integratable with any and all other CRMs. And that's a really important point of the platform. The goal of iLife isn't to replace or compete with other functionalities. So for example, with CRMs, we're not competing with Salesforce or Redtail. We'll integrate with them. So other functionalities that you have, we're not looking to replace, but looking to integrate them into your iLife experience.
I got a second
Thanks,
one here. Does iLife host the website?
iLife does host the website. So all of that is no charge, all of that is cloud-based, and all of that is built by a software company. And this is a really important point too. We're not an insurance company tinkering around in software. This is a premier software builder, so it's security, as secure as anything could be on the internet, and all the server hosting functionality is top-notch. Thanks for the question.
That's all we have at the moment.
Okay, and because I'm not sure who asked the question, if you are a large enterprise that's looking to embrace iLife, it is possible for the hosting to be shifted to another enterprise should that work out better for them. But for the most part, no, we host everything. So moving on to Wix, let's talk about the Wix opportunity a little bit. Here you're looking at my example, John Boothman Insurance. I haven't built it out. This is what it would look like when you join the iLife platform and you have the Wix opportunity. You log in, you have the opportunity to create your own, your own custom domain, and then start to customize. So as I said, I haven't done much here, but here's a standard template. And from here, it's as simple as this. No coding, you don't need an IT person. It's all super user-friendly. You just click on any of the sections that you want to edit, scroll down, upload photos, change the text. It's fully customizable. Add buttons. Got the starter kit here, so to speak, so you can add buttons. You can edit in any place that you want to edit. So if we go down, now this could take a long time, but just to show you, it's very simple. It's click, locate what you want to do, change the text, type in. You can add videos. You can change the order that things are in, change the color schemes, of course, uploading all photos of your own. Super simple, super robust. And importantly, when you get started with this, we have an onboarding team that helps you with this. They're professionals with this. They can make it very quick and simple. And then going forward, this isn't something that you need your IT guy or you have to pay an outside resource to come in and make changes for you. It's as quick as opening up your own website on the back end and making any changes on the fly to update your website. Add new content. You might have blogs on your website. You can update them daily. You might want to change the pictures. You might want to change something based on new products that you're offering. As simple as opening up your site and going into the edit mode. And just to give you a couple of examples of what a couple of our clients have done, here's an example, super clean website, how they've customized it, shows a little bit about the browsing experience, testimonials. It can be anything you want it to be. The main point is that it's very, very robust, very, very easy. The products they have on, and that will click you straight into a browsing experience. And super customizable. Here's another one. Somebody in Southern California, you might know them. So beautiful websites, fully customizable, whatever's important to you and your practice. Couldn't be any easier to do. Puts you with an online marketing experience, second to none. And again, with the functionality that only exists in iLife. So let's take a look at, now we've looked at Wix. We've given you a little snapshot of what that looks like in a finished product, how easy it is to build. So if you're getting started, where do you start? So here we'll spend a minute on the back end, and that's the agent dashboard. So I've switched on you from consumer facing to the back end agent dashboard. So here's where you would track your clients. Of course, this is all test stuff for me. Here's all your client information, who's been in your platform, what have they done, have they selected a product, have they left all their information, have they chatted with you, what have you sent them, everything's documented here. Have you added any notes to that client? As simple as that. Just looking at a couple of the other things that you would do, open up your account, what products are you interested in? You can select or deselect products that make sense for you, or categories. You may not want final expense, for example. It's as simple as that. Add all your licenses. And then going back to the client pipeline, a lot of other functionality. Track your visitors, how many people have been on my website. Build out a part of your website right here, super simple. Change where prospects are going to land. So full customization. When they click into our site, do I want them to go to a final expense because that's the customer and the marketing I'm doing, or dividend-based products? A lot of things that you can do here. And then if you are an enterprise, which means an agency, and again, you might have 2 or 200 agents, there's an enterprise view, and that means an iLife site for the enterprise that would then have all the individual agents under it. So that enterprise site would be able to track and view, like a parent view of all the agents, assign leads through the platform, recruit through the platform, a lot of functionality at the agent level as well. But simply, what's most important is what we're looking at here. When you start to build your website, start to customize it, this is your marketing link. So here's your domain, here's your link, here is what you're going to use for outreach. And that's what doesn't exist in other places. So if you're, like we've mentioned up front, if you're doing newsletters or blogs or ads, it's a massive topic what you can do online, and certainly we can't cover it today, but whatever it is that you're doing now, or whatever it is you would like to do, you now have a link to do it with and a place to send your prospects to. So this marketing link really is what it's all about. And with that marketing link, quickly we go to the next step. So maybe I'll just pause for a moment again, Sean, and see if there's any chat or any questions or anything you think I should go over again or I missed before we go on to the consumer facing site.
Yeah, we got a couple of questions. First is, how much does it cost? Is on there.
Yeah, so the answer is embarrassingly low. The Pro Plus, which has the Wix built in and integrated products, and we'll look at that in a moment, is $199 a month. And then, which Wix alone would cost you more than that. And then working with BGA, and you'll see at the end, just a promotional discount of, I think it's 20% off that on a monthly subscription basis.
And then got another question here. If you're not a GA or IMO, where does the E application go to?
Yeah, great question. It goes to, well, let me answer a different way. We don't change anything you're doing. So if you're working with an e-application provider or resource now, you would use that same e-app. So we're outside your business. We're not going to change how you process your life insurance product or your cases through BGA, for example. We are not going to change that process. It's a handoff. So you would use whatever link you're using now, and you'll see the link in, when we get to it, you'll see a link to, let's say, John Hancock, for example. That takes you to the e-application. And then with whatever coding you're using now through BGA, you use that same coding and everything would be routed exactly as it is today. Again, we're not in your hierarchy.
Last question is, can we add CTAs to the site? And I'm not sure if I understand this, calendar, acuity, etc. I don't.
So with CTA to me means call to action. And although we went pretty fast, all through your website, any of these we built out, and I'll go back here, I'll flip to one. All through the website is a call to action. If I click on this, it's going to take me to final expense and give me the opportunity to browse final expense products. So you can embed a call to action anywhere in the site, and these sites have them built all through them. Here, this call to action is going to take the prospect straight into browsing life insurance policies. We're going to get into that next. So call to action for me, CTA means call to action, and you can embed those links anywhere. And then to go to the next part of the question, Calendly or any other, and I call them widgets, but any other functionality, yes, you can embed those, whether it's videos or other links to other functionalities, you can embed those into your website just as simply as we saw when we were editing. So you can edit in links like Calendly.
I think we're good.
Got it? Okay, thanks. So we were in the agent dashboard here. We talked about the marketing link. And so really the $1 million question is, how do you use it and where does it send your prospects? And importantly, where it sends them to is your website. So here is a simple version of my website. I've driven prospects. And, you know, interestingly, another thing to touch on, our business now is 24/7. So it's not a matter of how many phone calls you can make or when you're in the office. Your online presence is both unlimited. You can have thousands of prospects in your website. And again, it's 24/7. So if I step back away from our insurance marketing and you think about airline tickets or Expedia, I think most of that activity goes on the weekend. Clients are spending their off time browsing through the weekend, learning about products that they're going to buy, whether it's cars or laptops or airline tickets. It's all hours, and many of them not working hours. And now you have a website, and you'll see in a moment, that will do that same work for you 24/7 and with an unlimited amount of prospects. It's not how many you can call, it's how many can you drive into your site, and it can be thousands at any given time. So here's my site that I'm driving my prospects to. They click on browse quotes, and you saw that button all through the other sites, and they begin their life insurance journey. So they've come to you for investment experience, they've come to you for life insurance ideas, they've come to you for life insurance products. Depending on your outreach, they're going to be coming to you for different things. But perhaps you've done an article talking about life insurance, and this is what they're interested in. So they start their journey. Were you talking about term or permanent or final expense? Or maybe they're just coming in on their own and they're just thinking, well, let me just look at term products. So now, without having to fill out a form, your prospects are in your site, free to browse products. Because whenever a term quoting situation starts with a form, you lose about 90% of your prospects. No one wants to fill out a form. What they want to do is browse. So if I quickly put in some information here so that I can price the product for me, the prospect, put in my birth date, I don't smoke, I'm a citizen, my zip code, what am I looking for, browse quotes, 20 years, browse quotes. Instantly, I'm going to have exactly what I'm looking for. So your client or your prospect is starting that browsing experience. In this case, I started with term, so it's going to give me all those popular term options that you're all familiar with. The banner product is fully integrated, and that means that Your consumer, your prospect can go all the way through that purchasing process online. It's your business. It'll be tracked under your agent code, and it's hands-free. That's a huge deal, and you're going to see more of that to come. But just to touch on the browsing experience, maybe you talk to them about perm. So the client comes in, looks at term, wants to look at perm. They can change any of the parameters. Now they're looking at relevant permanent products. In this case, we've got Hancock UL, IUL, a variety of products that meet the parameters that they're inputting. And oh, by the way, other things that they'd like to know about the products built in. So when I look at these graphs and charts, not only do I think, wow, that's really cool, I compare the IUL returns to the S&P, but think about the hundreds of hours you're not spending creating these yourself, client by client. They're built in with one click, and that means that your client can come and look at them based on your direction, or you can come and look at them because it's way faster than building a chart by yourself. So all of that functionality and analytics are here, built in, comparing products, built in, depending on the products, of course, whether it's cash value or not. I'm being a little bit random here. But what does that product offer? Those summaries are built in, and you don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to have your BGA do it, your back office person. It's all here, and that's truly unique. So just to move on, your prospects looked around. They spent all week browsing, looking at analytics, thinking about how to have an educated conversation with you next. And what do they want to do? They want to work with an agent. This is your site. You're the agent. They simply now fill in their information. And this is very key. We didn't do this up front because that turns away most of your prospects or consumers. But after they've browsed, after they've had an idea of how legit it is and what the opportunities are, they fill in their information, email and phone number, and now they can speak with you. You've captured all their information. You've captured what they've looked at. The client has full functionality to call you or email you. And that's quick. You know what that's all about. But what's way more cool and way more common now is chat. So live, your client can chat with you. Hey, I'm looking at your stuff here. I'm in your website. Can you call me? And so when that's sent, if I'm not in the office, I'm going to get, you might have heard it on my phone, you get a notification. Hey, someone wants to chat with you. It gives you a notification. Or if you're in your site, here's a notification live. Hey, call me. Whoever it is. And it's all documented. So back to what the client can do is chat with you, track the products they've looked at. So now we're on the other side of the mirror. Think of it as a two-way mirror. The client, the prospect, has created their own dashboard by entering their information. And they can see what they've done. They can view the progress of any products that they've got in process with you. They can go back to browsing. And then ultimately, upon your direction, and once a case gets the application submitted, and if that does need medical underwriting or medical docs, they can be uploaded here straight off the platform. So the client has the ability to go in through Human API, select their provider. So I put in mine, do a quick search. There's my provider. I enter my username and password, and I can go straight in, download my own medical records. They will post to the site. You add your HIPAA to that, and they can be back to the carrier in an hour. Not 3 or 4 weeks of record fetching, but almost instantly. Very unique opportunity in the platform. And then, of course, very simply, they could go back and start to look at different kinds of products, go through the browsing experience, chat with you. It's your client, it's your engagement. And, you know, just to be funny about it, they're not limited to the products on the platform. They could buy brown shoes from you. They could buy annuities from you. They could end up being an investment client. It's your client. This is just a starting point. And this is where you're able to have like 80% of the work, which I call what if illustrations and all that sort of upfront work can be done. The client can do it themselves on the platform, saving those thousands of illustrations that go back and forth, all those what if illustrations. What if I was preferred? What if I was standard? What if I wanted to do guarantee? What if I wanted to do whole life. That can all be done here. So let me pause again, Sean. We've now covered the consumer-facing platform, where you're able to drive your consumers to, what they're able to do, and importantly, those are your clients. It's your engagement, and you take that case anywhere you want to take that case, meaning with the product they've selected, other products, your advice, etc. So let me pause there and see if there's other chat or you have comments, Sean.
Here's another agent asking, would the notices be forwarded to my cell phone if I'm not on the site?
Yes, absolutely. So irrespective of whether you're logged in or not, it would go directly to your mobile device. Should you have that turned on, and I'll show you that, seeing as how that's a great question. You go to my account, sorry. If I go to settings, you, the agent, have the ability to turn all that on or off. So if you don't want notifications, you turn them off. If you want an email notification, so you have full control over notifications when they're on and off, irrespective of whether you're on the platform or not. Great question. Thank you.
And then going back to the clients actually completing maybe an e-application or some kind of accelerated underwriting platform, if the agent in question has a banner code number with their current GA, I think you described that it would just automatically go through and be processed. But with the other carriers that don't have that function, are the clients just filling out the appropriate information, and then that agent is then going to their current GA or IMO and then inputting that information to do the actual e-application?
That's absolutely correct. So exactly what you said is exactly the process. The client's been in the platform. They've left the starter or the beginnings of their information, and it's all captured here. If I just select a client, just as an example, the information is captured here. So that's the pre-app, we call it pre, and that goes to you, and then yes, you, Sean, the agent, will continue with that application in whatever way you're doing it now.
Okay, got it.
Thanks for the question.
And I think that's all we have at the moment.
Okay, fantastic. So that was the chat. You want to open up and see if there's any live questions or anything that someone wants to discuss for a moment? Fantastic.
And I think you would have to open it up for questions.
Okay, Sean.
I think it'd be maybe on the bottom left.
I'm just looking at the options that I have here. No, I don't see that.
So if anyone,
take over the hosting.
So if anyone has any other questions, raise your hand or type in the chat. I had one question, John. Can you explain?
Yeah.
You mentioned describe marketing outreach with the website. What are other advisors using for that outreach or doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So that goes back to where it all starts. That's your link. This is your marketing link. I'll tell you something fun that, I'm not a tech person specifically, my history's in life insurance. And something I learned just recently is, now here's your marketing link that you are going to add to. The obvious things are, let's say, newsletters or blogs that you're doing or advertising on the internet. Some of the agents are super savvy with regards to doing Google ads or Facebook ads or other kind of ads. And you are simply going to include this link in that advertising, or in that email campaign, or in that blog that's out, on some resource of the internet. That's exactly what you're going to do, is use this link now to drive your consumers to your website through the browsing experience, through the client engagement and all of that. Additionally, and what's kind of fun is, some of you already know, but it's very simple to do. You can turn your marketing link into a QR code. And I think you all know what QR codes are really popular anymore. So you can create a QR code for your marketing link, and now you have the ability to post that literally anywhere. So just for fun, and where my mind went to the first time I, sort of understood that you could create QR codes is, you're at Cowboy Stadium and you put your QR code on the Jumbotron, that now 100,000 people can point their phone and go into your website. So I know that's kind of funny, but the answer is really with either a marketing link or converting it to a QR code, you can use your link in any way that you could possibly imagine. And with one point and click, have unlimited customers going to your site. That's what the marketing link is all about. And then when we say your site, that's what Wix is all about. Now your site is as beautiful and robust as any site on the internet, with an engine underneath that has everything we looked at. CRM to track all the business, live quoting for term, permanent, final expense, live chat with those clients that are in, anything that they want to chat with you about, or if they want to call you, they can call you, it's your client. That's where you're taking them. That's the sandbox, I call it.
Got another question here about purchasing leads. How does that work?
Yep. So there's a lot of functionality we can't get to in 30 minutes here, but on the iLife website, in your agent dashboard, there's a store, iLife store. So in the iLife store here, you can purchase leads. So we have what we call either ambassadors or affiliates who generate leads, and that typically is somebody who's well known, has a way to generate leads. Those leads go through let's call it a generic or that entity's life insurance site, iLife site. Same thing that we just saw, browse for life insurance, selected a product, Lincoln GUL, and then selected connect me with an agent. The connect me with the agent are these leads, so you can purchase these leads and we drop them into your site. So they would drop into your site just like you see here as a client here. You can look at them specifically by selecting purchase leads, and I've only got one, but it would show leads that you've purchased, and of course they're dropped into your platform. I'm not sure if I said that extremely well, sorry, but that's what purchase leads are.
Okay. I'm not seeing any other questions at the time. For everyone online, we will be, this webinar has been recorded and we will post it on the BGA website. And I know many of you have not done business with BGA Insurance, and we certainly like the opportunity to earn your business. And so whether you sign up with iLife or not, give us a shot at your insurance cases, and hopefully you do sign up with iLife, because I think it's a wonderful platform. And I think we can call it a close in.
Let me just add to what you said, and that's there, Sean, you do have a link. We went through Kaylin. You have a specific link for your agents to sign up with iLife, and that does give them the discount when they use that link. So if you're interested in either a demo, Sean will send out an email that'll have my contact information. You can contact Sean. You can contact me directly. It's super easy. And then with the link, you can sign up and get the BGA discount. So
Yeah,
that is available as well.
I will make sure everyone that attended gets that email with that discount link.
Super fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for attending,
Okay.
everyone, and hope we start talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And don't hesitate to call if I can help. Cheers.